I want to close this testing series with the tools I use to actively monitor both partners in real time. Because testing is not just about finding what's wrong. It's about tracking what changed and knowing whether the interventions are working. Standard OPKs tell you one thing: LH is surging. That's it. They don't tell you whether you're actually ovulating. They don't tell you what your progesterone looks like after ovulation. They don't give you the complete hormonal picture of your cycle. Comprehensive at-home fertility monitors, such as Inito and MIRA, are two that I recommend. Change that completely. These strips measure LH, FSH, estrogen, and progesterone from a single urine strip. It maps the complete hormonal arc of your cycle at home, every day, in real time. This gives me clinical data I can't get from a day 21 progesterone draw alone. I can see whether your LH surge is appropriate or blunted. I can see whether your estrogen rises adequately before ovulation. I can see whether FSH is behaving normally at the start of your cycle. And critically, I can see whether progesterone rises adequately after ovulation and how long it sustains. A day 21 progesterone level tells me what progesterone was doing on one day. A cycle monitored with a fertility monitor tells me the entire progesterone story: when it peaked, how long it went, and how long it held. That's a completely different level of clinical information. This is the kind of data that tells me that interventions are working before we even get to a positive pregnancy test. Here's what I look for specifically: a blunted or absent LH surge. This tells me ovulation is not happening cleanly despite cycles that appear regular. A short progesterone window, the luteal phase picture that we covered in the prolactin series. When I see progesterone rise but fall too quickly, I know the corpus luteum is not being adequately supported. A low progesterone peak, insufficient for the implantation environment regardless of timing. An estrogen surge that's too early or too late, telling me that the follicular phase is dysregulated. These patterns direct the clinical conversations in ways a standard cycle day 3 panel and a single day 21 draw cannot. And for him, at-home sperm testing with DNA fragmentation. Legacy is one of the most well-known options and offers a detailed fragmentation report alongside standard semen parameters. As I've covered in depth in the His Sperm Was Normal series, DNA fragmentation is one of the most commonly missed findings in male fertility. A man can have a completely normal semen analysis and catastrophic DNA fragmentation driving failed fertilization, arrested embryo development, and recurrent pregnancy loss. I run DNA fragmentation testing on the male partner from our very first conversation, not after failed IVF cycles, not as a last resort, from day one. Because if his fragmentation is elevated, every fertility intervention for both partners is working against a compromised foundation. And knowing this from the start means that we can address it from the start. Above 25%, I'm concerned. Above 40, it's a primary driver. And it's almost always addressable when we find the root cause: the oxidative stress, the gut dysbiosis, the nutrient deficiencies, the glucose dysregulation driving the damage. This test series has covered 8 tests across 5 triplets, and I want to close with the same message I close every series with. I don't run these tests as a fishing expedition. I run them because conventional fertility medicine runs almost none of them, and they consistently reveal the root causes that explain why everything else is failing. The GI map shows me what's living in the gut and what it's doing to the hormones and absorption. The food sensitivity panel shows me what's driving the chronic inflammatory picture. The organic acid test shows me what's happening at the cellular and mitochondrial level. Mycotoxin and heavy metal testing when the clinical picture calls for it. Salivary cortisol and hormonal metabolite testing shows me the full hormone pattern and how hormones are being processed. The DNA Core and Grow Baby show me the genetic blueprint that explains why this specific person needs this specific approach. Inito and MIRA fertility monitors, tracking the hormonal pattern in real time. And Legacy DFI, completing the picture for him. Together, this is what a complete root cause fertility investigation looks like. In the next video, I'm going to show you exactly what I find when I run these tests. Real cases, real results, the complete picture. If you're ready for that, comment root cause below, because the investigation was never complete until now.